In here, we pour whisk, 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 whisk.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Whiskey Ginger. My guest today is one of my favorite people on earth. I say that for all my guests, but I mean it once again today. Ladies and gentlemen, Brain Redban. Yeah. What's up, dude? Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having.
You wore the, you got your mints on? You got the mints today?
Yep.
I just noticed that.
Yep. I get more compliments on these shoes.
You're a big shoe guy, right? You are?
I mean, I just became one, and then I went crazy, and then now I stopped. I have too many shoes.
Yeah.
Now I get, like, how are you supposed to wear any of these shoes? I haven't even worn half of them.
I know. Well, I just fucking did that whole thing. I just moved, and I did that whole thing where you just got rid of shit. So I donated a bunch of my old bullshit shoes I never wore, and then I sold, like, every Jordan I had except for, like, 3s, 4s, and 3 pairs of 11s.
Yeah.
That's it, dude. I was like, I can't have all these fucking shoes. What am I? I'm never gonna wear all these shoes.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Fairfax kid. I don't do that thing where you wait outside of Supreme 4 days in advance.
You don't have to do that anymore because, like,
I
those
just
apps,
ordered online.
like StockX.
Yeah, I don't know why people do that shit.
so
well,
amazing.
I think that's people that come from out of town. It's always like out of towners and Japanese kids. That's all I see.
Yeah.
And Japanese kids fucking, I think they just love the culture of waiting, you know?
Yeah.
Because they do that shit all the time in Japan. So they're
Right.
like, we'll go wait. That's like our favorite thing.
I can't do that anymore. Like, I can't even wait for, like, a ride, like a roller coaster ride.
Nah.
Like, I was at Disney World or Disneyland, and it was like, oh, hour and a half. I'm like, no way am I sitting here for an hour and a half.
Fuck that. I took my nieces to Universal Studios, and anything I saw that was a long line, I made everyone else go with them. I was like, I'm gonna take a break and hang out. I was like, I don't want to stand in a fucking line for a thing that I know it's good for the kids. Like I want to like have some fun on something, but some of the like the Harry Potter thing, I did that.
Yeah.
That thing was like 2 hours.
Really?
You just had to wait for like an hour.
Universal?
45. What is that? Universal or that's Harry Potter Universal.
Yeah.
I don't even know anymore. What's the difference? But yeah, I waited forever for that fucking thing. I saw cholos. I saw like hardcore gangster ass cholos there, like wife beaters, tattoos on their neck and face, and I was like, dude, the cholos like fucking Harry Potter. Like even cholos like Harry Potter, which was incredible to me. I was like, that's dope, dude. It's like, hey, I'm gonna get a butter beer, eh? Today we're gonna be drinking on some Long Branch Wild Turkeys. This is crazy. You've had Wild Turkey, I'm
Wild
sure.
Turkey is actually my whiskey. So
Is it?
yeah, I've never had this. I didn't even know that was a
So
thing.
Long Branch is this is their oak and Texas mesquite charcoal refined. It's a small batch, but it's aged in American oak casks. So it's not super high end. It's pretty fucking. It's a pretty cool bottle. I like that. How does she taste?
It tastes like a quality Wild Turkey.
Cheers. Yeah, it tastes like Wild Turkey Plus.
Yeah, like a nicer version of it.
It does.
That's great. Oh, that's really good.
It's pretty smooth. So Long Branch Wild Turkey.
Have you always been a whiskey guy?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, actually, always. I mean, I hate tequila. I've said that before.
Really? Why do you hate tequila? Just the results?
I don't know. Yeah. The flavor is just not, I don't like how it tastes.
You know, I've never liked tequila, and I started dating a Mexican, and then I started understanding.
You date a Mexican?
I'm sorry.
Get out.
That's why I'm wearing Jordans.
You swim in the ocean with those. That's why you're dating a Mexican.
But she turned me on to, and I never liked it. I always thought it burnt like my throat, I never liked it. But you take Patron chilled, only Patron chilled, and it just tastes like water. Like I've never.
I know. People always say they like Patron. Well, there's a bunch of high end ones that I've had before that people have been like, but you haven't had whatever. And I do it, but it's just not my shit. Whiskey, Scotch is okay to me too. But
I've never got into Scotch.
Nah, it's okay. It's like a late night sipping thing. But I come from a bunch of Irish drunks, and so like my grandparents, they're. To this day, my grandmother, who's the coolest person on earth, she still drinks Manhattans and the Canadian Club, which is cheap bottle whiskey,
Yeah.
and vermouth and maraschino cherries with a little bit of cherry. But they've literally my whole life I've known whiskey from my grandparents.
Yeah.
My grandfather used to carry around a little tiny briefcase, and it inside had his Canadian Club, his vermouth, and the maraschino, because he would go to parties. And they wouldn't have it. And him and my grandmother loved it so much that he was like, fuck it, I'm bringing my own shit.
That's classy. That's
cool as
awesome.
shit, right? So they would bring like a gift to the party for other people to have, but then they would have my grandpa's little briefcase. He would call it his computer.
Yeah.
Back before fucking anybody had laptops.
That's-
He'd be like, I got to get my computer out of the car.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a hardcore Irish alcoholic.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
that's what I come
my
from.
mom used whiskey growing up. Anytime she was like feeling sick, she would take whiskey and put it in the microwave and just like
Heat it up?
and then
Wow.
drink hot whiskey. And that's the only time she ever pulled out that bottle. There was always a bottle of whiskey, like
Just to have when she felt sick.
Yeah.
Well, because like hot toddies and shit like that. People
Right.
like hot whiskey and tea, or I don't like Irish coffee. I don't really fuck with that. I like coffee. I want coffee left alone. I don't want to put whiskey and sometimes people put Baileys and stuff. That's not my shit. I don't fuck with that.
Yeah.
I like to separate separate those worlds. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's something about eating like combination of meats. Do you know what I mean? I love sushi. That's my dad.
Oh.
We trap him in the walls.
What are you doing in there? Get out of there, buddy.
Get out of my house. I love eating like different kinds of sushi, but when they have like a roll where it's 15 kinds of fish on one thing, I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Can't I just do one at a fucking time? Like I don't need to have tuna and salmon and snapper. It's like just give me one or two at the most. I don't need 15 kinds of fish. So that's how I feel about combinations of things, Which is ironic because this show is called Whiskey Ginger, and I usually don't drink with ginger. I just drink it. Yeah, I don't.
I like ginger.
This just matched up.
I like ginger. I always drank growing up. I always drank beer, and then within like the last 4 years, 5 years, I switched. I hate beer now. I can't drink beer anymore. I feel
At all.
bloated. It's like I'll use it as like I want a Gatorade, in between drinks. Once in a while, like I'll take like a Miller Lite because that to me is like water.
It's gross.
But now I always need I never drink it neat, even though I always like it neat.
Yeah, I love it neat. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll put an ice cube in there just to dilute the water, just to put a little
Yeah.
bit of water in there.
Yeah.
That's an old Irish trick too. They like to put a little bit of water in there. They put a little bit of water, just dilute it a little bit, and it also it breaks it up a little bit. It's kind of like putting milk in coffee. The reason you do that is for the acid,
Right.
But I like it straight up. This is actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Enough about this. We're not going to plug. I feel like I'm plugging Wild Turkey, and they don't sponsor the show.
They should.
They
Do you have
wouldn't-
ginger? Do you have whiskey companies coming out?
Yeah, there's a few whiskey companies that have reached out. There's a few people that have reached out that I want to connect with that want to sponsor. But the thing is, I don't think they can get a big brand can't get in line because they don't know me well enough to go, what if he says some shit that doesn't align with, you know what I mean? Like Jack Daniels can't be like, we sponsored the show, and then we say some fucked up shit on here.
Right.
Like I date a Mexican and I'm like, gross.
Right.
And Jack Daniels like,
That's-
fuck.
that's true.
That's a huge market for us.
That's true.
And Mexicans love Jack Daniels.
No, they don't.
No, they not at all. They're not losing any business. But there's a ton of Mexicans listening to this being like, we fucking love that shit, dude. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking butterbeer. What was that, dog? Go back to butterbeer talk. But anyway, fucking, it is delicious. I want to talk about, you've been on the road a ton for Kill Tony.
Yeah.
You
I actually went to Ireland.
Tony Hinchcliffe. Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I watched it. Dude, I told Tony I watched it on the way. I was driving up to Mammoth, and I watched it on my fucking iPad. I thought it was wild to see that shit. You toured around the world, then you came back, and then now you guys are going out just doing in the States again, right?
In the States, we got like some Vancouver, not Vancouver.
Are you somewhere this
Vancouver.
weekend?
Nowhere this weekend, but we're about to go to Phoenix next weekend and
Yup.
then Vegas, but we do go to like a little Canada stop, and then I think we have like Australia coming up.
That's dope.
Not announced.
Oh,
yet.
you guys are packing shows so much now.
It's
wild,
selling
right?
out everywhere now. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we just sold out Gramercy Theater in New York, which I guess is pretty big. And
It's very
added a
big.
second show, and that's almost sold out now.
Wow, dude.
It's pretty insane. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for people that haven't seen Kill Tony, I know Hinchcliffe was on here and we talked about it a little bit, but it's incredible because there's this whole vibe with the band and Jeremiah and even though fuck Jeremiah.
Yeah, I heard you guys are fighting.
Yeah, we're fighting. I necked him last night, dude.
Did you really neck?
No
You choked him out?
no hands. I just used my chin and I made him pass out.
That's hilarious.
You want to be a real tough guy, dude? Wrap your head around another man's neck and push down on your chin and see if you can make him pass out over here. I fucking put him down, dude. It was fun.
You just got to hold his nose and blow in his mouth really hard. I heard.
His eyes pop out of his fucking head. He's a good guy. Joel, you got Joel up there.
Yeah.
I think it's a great, it's an amazing thing to watch people get judged doing stand up and shit. And I think it's a great opportunity for people to come out and see more than just a regular stand up show. So that's
It's
what's
really
dope
cool
about
also for us because we get to meet all these new comics.
Yeah.
And so like I know so many people. Like I feel like we're almost like Mitzi's up there, from the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
We know all the young comics now.
because they come through.
Yeah, and not only like Los Angeles, like throughout the whole United States, in the world, like so it's weird knowing that many comics,
It is a trip. Anytime I've done the show, there's always a couple of kids that are like, we drove from fucking Wisconsin. You're
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
Today? And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, we just got in, man. We fucking left yesterday and we got in and we wanted to come here just for this. And I'm like, what how long are you staying? And they're like, we leave tomorrow morning. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's so ridiculous.
I mean, it's amazing to think that there's that kind of fan base that's happening around comedy right now. I've kind of reiterated a ton, but I think it's so fucking dope. And I have so many fans that hit me up through this. I have a competition going on right now for our intro song. It's this dope instrumental, and we put it up on Spotify for free, and people can grab it, download it, rip it, do whatever you got to do. And then I wanted them to rip 16 bars, like freestyle over it. And we had a ton of submissions. And then next week I'm going to play.
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to play the best of the best.
I do like your opening now though, with all the cartoon clips and.
Well,
like
that's what it is. It's that, but we
so
just
cool.
took out some of the clips and made it instrumental for them.
That's a really cool opening.
Yeah, there's this guy, Rocom did it for me, and he was the one that was like, we should just throw it up and see if people could do a beat. And people, if you're still listening, this will be the last chance you get to submit. Download it and then go send me the song at I'm a Santino fan at gmail.com. I'm a Santino fan at gmail.com. And ironically enough, every time I say that, someone's always like hits me up on Twitter. What is it? It's like, it's in the description. Everything is in the description.
I
promise it's in there. There's for some reason people get fucking angry. They're like, I can't find this and this, and you're like, it's right there.
They don't read the description.
I know, but every time you say it's in the description, just go. You'll find all the information. In fact, I'm so used to saying it that whenever I watch a YouTube video, I just open descriptions naturally just to see what else they plugged in there.
Right.
Just to be like, what else they got going on? For my fans that don't know, this is what I want to do is talk. I'm interested in talking about Death Squad because I think people have a vague idea of what it is.
Yeah.
But you want to fucking explain what it is?
Well, when
he's pulling out a gun. Here we go. I die right on camera.
This is how you do the
This is how I fucking die. I die here with you on camera. Oh, tight. Look at this.
So what happened is, a long time ago, I worked for Joe Rogan and
who?
This up and coming guy.
Young guy?
Young buck. But we started doing a podcast together. Like we decided, me and him, like used to sit in his house and just talk like on our laptop speakers,
Right.
we very low, and that thing blew up. And then when it was blowing up, I was like, you know what? I know how to do it now. And all my friends, I think they would be great at podcasts, like Ari Shaffir and Tom Segura and all these guys.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to make a studio in my house and then start podcasts for all of them. Hey, you want to do a podcast, Ari? So I started doing all these podcasts out of my house. And, I started Your Mom's House, Ari Shaffir, Skeptic Tank, Sam Tripoli, I helped Joey Diaz.
I was going to say Diaz, right?
Yeah. And so all the guys. And my idea was that, back in the day, there was only podcasts, and I was like, you know what? I should make this thing called a podcast network, where it's like a radio station where you have different shows under it.
Right.
And so the idea for me was you have, like on iTunes, it will be called Death Squad, and then underneath it, you'll have all the shows listed under one feed. So if you know Tom Segura and you like Tom Segura, you might be like, oh, who's this Sam Tripoli guy? You know. So then it just makes everyone listen to the same show.
If you like Tom Segura's funny stories and lightheartedness about his relationship with his wife, you're gonna love this guy that's a flat earther who's a conspiracy theorist.
That shit's so.
No, I know he's the funniest. But Tripoli might have the most conspiracies I've ever heard in my entire life, and he really like dives deep into that shit. Between him and Eddie Bravo, they could crack any other conspiracy theorist's mind with how much fucking shit that they go deep on.
Have you ever asked, I asked him, Sam the other day, like, is the sun flat also? Because, and then he started talking about, no, that's where spirits are trapped or like aliens.
Yes.
And I'm like,
when you die, that's where you go to the sun. You know that, right?
Sam, there's no microphones right now.
He believes in all that fucking shit. So the Death Squad Network, you kind of started all these things to like launch, and like I've been so familiar with it over the years, but I think it's wild because it's a part of the comedy. It's a part of the comedy world, and a lot of people know about it or don't really know what it is, but they're super hyper aware of it.
Yeah.
Where did you get the name?
The name was originally when I used to go, go on the road with Joe all the time and do all that stuff. And one day, me, Joe, I think it was Tate Fletcher of Caveman Coffee.
Yeah.
I want to say Eddie Bravo maybe, but we were all walking into Opie and Anthony's studio, and this was like after 9/11. This is when there was we're in war with Iraq, and they always
We went to war with Iraq?
Something like that.
I slept right through that.
Yeah. But on the news, they kept on going, U.S. found another death squad in Iraq and blah, blah, blah. So it was all over the news. So we walk in and we just look like this gang of thugs walking into Opie and Anthony. And Opie goes, oh, Joe Rogan's here and he brought his death squad. And so we all thought that name was funny. So we used to always be like, hey, we're the Death Squad, like that. And so when I told Joe about my idea to make like a radio station, a podcast, I was like, I might call it Death Squad. And he's like, that's perfect because it's all our friends together.
So it worked out. It ended up just clicking.
It just clicked.
So you owe it kind of to Opie.
Opie, actually is the one that Nick
Opie did.
coined that. Yeah.
It's funny because I heard, and this is you may get annoyed at this, but this one time I was listening to a bunch of old clips of Norm Macdonald, and Norm was talking about the Death Squad. Have you heard that?
He talks about me a lot. It is so fucking
But it's
funny.
weird. It's really strange.
So
it's like, why the fuck does Norm Macdonald? Because he was like, Death Squad. It sounds like a fucking group of fist fighters, not a comedy crew. You're like, what?
He is so hilarious.
It's interesting. Here's what it is, though. To me,
He did a Death Squad show also. So
well, he's talking shit because he likes it, right?
Right,
He likes to
right.
mock things. You only mock things as a comedian that
Right.
you enjoy. Like when we shit on each other, we joke around about each other's
Right.
shit. It's only because we fucking enjoy each other. Otherwise, there's no way to really know if you get along with someone if you can't joke around.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he does that because he recognizes it. But it's like, from a distance, someone could be like, dude, he hates those guys. It's like, the fact that he knows it
Right.
is even more important. To
Yeah.
me, it's like, that's fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's funny. I had a show. I did Death Squad show in Denver at the Comedy Works, and
Such a good club.
He was there like the following day, but he came early, and he was just checking out the show, and it was right before we were about to start. And I'm like, he's like, hey, what's going on here? And I'm like, hey, if you want to jump on the show, he's like, what is it? He's like, so it's Death Squad show. And he goes, what the?
Yeah.
But he used to do it when I first told him about it. So like,
Death
I think
Squad.
he's-
That sound like a comedy
He's so
crew.
hilarious.
Yeah.
No, I better not say that.
Say it. Don't not say it. Don't not say
One-
it. The name of this episode is going to be Don't Not Say
Okay.
It. Come on.
One of the most funniest things about this is so mean, but one of the funniest things about Norm is like he really helped me out with my hygiene, hair hygiene.
Yeah.
Because that night when I was like talking to him, I look over to him and he had like literally a black like spite, like it looked like a bush, like a woman's 70s bush coming out of his ear hair.
He had a pussy ear?
And it freaked me out. So that night I went home to one of those like hotel mirrors that's really close up.
Right.
I look and I had like two of them. I'm like, oh my God, no one told me about this. And so now I've always wanted to like tell him like,
Tell
hey,
him that he
man,
was
you
the
got
inspiration?
like, you got like a quarter size bush hanging.
Well, now I hope he sees
Oh,
this
God,
and hears this.
I
and then he'll-
feel bad.
The Death Squad guy
Yeah,
says I got
yeah.
a lot of ear hair. Fuck him,
But
man.
what
That
did you
fucking-
want someone to tell you?
Yeah, no, honestly, dude, most of us probably want somebody to tell us, but
Yeah.
for the most part, we're so embarrassed about these shortcomings that you're like,
Yeah.
please don't let me know about that fucking
Yeah.
shit.
So now I'm freaked out about that and nose hairs.
That's funny. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
If a comedian can't take a joke about that shit, I mean, we're in deep shit. Who designed it? This is what's more interesting to me is like the design of things, right? Like we were talking about this guy that did this for me, this Edgar Gonzalez that did that. Like, who designed your?
I do all the
You did all
the
this.
Death Squad stuff. Yeah.
And you were into. Listen, dude. If I saw this, I'd go. It's a Japanese guy.
Yeah.
I go. A Japanese guy did it.
Right.
But you just love Japanese shit.
Yeah. That's actually a Hitler cat.
Yeah. But it's a Japanese Hitler cat.
I mean Chaplin.
Yeah.
But no, that's so weird. I painted that before Death Squad. That's actually a huge painting that I painted.
Yeah.
And I was at this like one of those bodegas by my house, and there was like, you know how they have like weird things, like they just have toys in the middle of like baked beans and like, you know, like these little
'cause they
convenience
sell drugs
stores.
for real. That's what they really do.
And so they had all these toys, and they all had like a layer of dust on them. And I always like to look at like weird shit like that. And there was like a little alarm clock that was one of those Lucky Cats, but
Oh,
it had
this. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it had the clock in front of it. I was like, that looks like a bomb. Looks like somebody just put a bomb in the middle of this convenience.
Right.
So I bought it, and that night I just painted it. And then when I did the Death Squad thing, I was like, that's a perfect logo for it. It looks like a Death Squad.
I mean, it
logo.
does. It literally
Yeah.
looks like a fucking. It looks like the symbol of the troops
Yeah.
of the Death Squad.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like the cat waves and they go march to murder fucking people. And you guys don't have guns at your shows, but you should.
No.
You should from now on.
Yeah,
Start
this,
killing people.
This logo, fun fact: if you're
Yeah.
ever in the back parking lot of the Comedy Store, see, it looks like a cat ears and the little nose and stuff. But if you look in the back parking lot and you look up the hill, like to all those houses that are up the hill behind the Comedy Store,
Right.
there's a house that looks exactly like that, and that's what I did this off of.
That's where that came from.
Yeah.
God, that's so
And
weird.
that's my dream house. So one day I'll
at the top?
this exact house.
I want to look at it when I go there tonight.
Yeah, look
That's
at
so
it.
funny.
It'll freak you out too.
Because there's a house at the top of if you go up like all the way up Fairfax, Megan Ellison used to own it. She sold it for like $38 million, and you can't miss it. If you're ever in LA, you see it's this huge circular home, and there's a lot of other circles that are around it. She owns the whole fucking mountain. Megan Ellison is Larry Ellison's daughter. I don't know if you know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Hollywood producer, and Every time someone's in town and we like go by that or whatever, and somebody's like, dude, who fucking lives there? Without fail, I always go, it's Alex Trebek, dude. It's Alex Trebek's house. And I stick with it because I'm always like,
That's hilarious.
a part of me wishes it was his house.
Right.
That he was looking over because he's so judgy on his show that I'm like, I would imagine he would have a house that's way up on the hill looking down every morning being like, look at these peasants.
Exactly. That's what I think about this house. Like,
Yes.
yeah, I'm on top of
Look
this
at
mountain.
these
Look
pieces
at these.
of shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've told this story before, but that just reminded me of when Seinfeld. I don't know if you ever heard this. When Mitzi told Seinfeld that he wasn't funny. Do you know about this?
Oh, I know a lot about this.
Yeah, Mitzi said to Seinfeld, "You're not funny." She thought he was a hack.
Right.
And Seinfeld fucking hated her for that. It was the bane of his existence. And here's how vindictive Seinfeld is. People that this is Comedy Store shit, but the Comedy Store family owned a couple of houses, and one of them was on Queens or Kings. That's Queens Road. Queens Road right there, right? Or Kings?
Kings.
What's
I
right?
think it's-
That's Kings Road, right?
I think it's.
No, they're both
I
right
don't
next to
know,
each other. I don't know
King,
which one.
Queen.
Whichever, Kings, Queens, Jacks, Offs. But whichever one, it goes right up the side of the Comedy Store, one street west, and they had a house there. And Seinfeld was so angry that Mitzi, who was the godmother of the Comedy Store, who used to pass people, the owner, that didn't like him, that he stopped going to the store. And then when he did get successful, when he popped and his show blew up, he bought a fucking house above their house and right up the street from their house. Seriously.
Is this real?
This is real. Obviously, he liked the home.
Right.
But he also loved driving down the hill to CBS Radford and passing them and seeing a member of the Shore family to remind them that he's like, hey, just going down the hill to get to work past you guys. That's how fucking vindictive Jerry Seinfeld is.
He's at.
It's not that he bought the house just to do that, but it's a piece of it. And that's enough for me to be like, you fucking.
You know, I love Jerry. I mean, I loved Seinfeld, but
Yeah.
that show, comedians in cars getting coffee.
Yeah.
He is such. You could tell he's such a little cunt. You know, like he really is.
You know who said it best? I think Louis said it best not Louis. I'm about to fuck this up. Yeah, I think it was Louis.
Sounds like it would be.
Louis was talking about how Seinfeld's from Long Island, right? He's from Long Island or something like that. And he was like, "What's your dream car?" I think that's what it was about. Maybe that was Burr. You know, whatever. But they were talking about like the car that you say is your dream car as you were a youth really like dictates what kind of class of people you grew up with. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And Seinfeld kind of had this sardonic smartass remark of like, well, that's why you like that car because you're from that kind of class of people. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right.
Because he came from the idea of upper middle class, you know, the aspirations of the good old white man. Like, we can get it if we want it, you know? And I think it was just kind of a shitting on the working class. He's always had that air about him. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's always been a part of Seinfeldian's thought process. But it's interesting because it appeals to the everyday man. Most of America, the middle class, the working class, they love him because it's his comedy is so everyday, kind of the monotony of the day. Yet he's got 50 Porsches in a garage. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
he
why
doesn't have any of that normalcy anymore. I mean, he had it, I'm sure, years ago. But
You heard what happened when he never went back to the Comedy Store after that. You
Right.
know, and then he came back like a year ago. And
I was there that night.
Yeah,
it was two or 3 years ago. I was there.
yeah, a lot of people gave me shit at what I did to.
What did you
Jerry.
do?
You didn't hear about this?
No, what the fuck
I thought
did you do?
everybody heard about this.
No.
So at the end of his show, he was like, "I think I'm gonna answer some questions," you know, like, and people were like, you know, asking the dumbest questions, like,
what's your favorite color?
Yeah, what's your favorite superhero? Spider-Man, you know that. And that, like, I'm wasted. And all the comics we all kind of piled in. I'm like next to the piano in the OR.
Right.
And I remember this table in front of me goes, I wish somebody would ask something funny or something silly or something. I forget what she said. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. So I go, hey, Jerry, do you wipe your butt standing or sitting down? And he goes, what did you say? And I'm like, then everyone's looking at me. I just remember Adam or somebody. All these faces like, what the fuck are you doing? This is Jerry Seinfeld. Don't ask him now.
You want to know, man.
And so then I yelled it louder. I go, do you wipe your butt standing or sitting down? And he goes, you don't have to yell. I'm right here. And I'm like, well, you can't hear me. And then I said it again. And he goes, what'd you say about my wife? And I'm like, oh my God, now is he just fucking with me?
Yeah.
And then finally, like, I said it the last time and he goes, oh, okay. I wipe my butt standing up. Of course I do. Then I walk around. And then so many people got mad at me for that. Like
For asking him about
like
it?
comics, I could tell people hated me.
Why?
I think Adam really hated me. Who
gives a fuck?
Like Tom Segura and Christina Pizitsky, they were like sending me like, "You're the best person in the world. Thank you."
Right.
And somebody recorded it and sent it to me like the next day. And
Do you have it still?
I bet if I look somewhere, I
Gotta
have it, but
find that.
It is the funniest.
Because he avoided the fucking question. By the way, he does stand up when he wipes his ass.
Do you stand up or sit down?
No, dude.
I stand up.
I got to get a couple of wipes out
Right.
on the bowl. Then I stand up. I finish. Then I got my
Do you wipe from the back or from the front?
well, my pussy's in the front, so
Right,
I gotta wipe front to back.
Front to back. So you reach like this, and you like from back.
Yeah, I lift
and,
up a cheek and wipe.
See,
I don't want any poop on my pussy.
I know. I just can't. Like every time I try to do that, I'm just like, how is this? I can't. What am I doing? Like
Yeah.
I have to stand up, put a leg up on the squatty potty, get in there, get it. Use my
I
wet
gave up the
naps.
squatty potty, by the way, because I thought it gave me hemorrhoids.
You think it gave you?
I think
hemorrhoids?
I know it's supposed to relieve it, but I feel like I was trying to clean myself out all the time. I was like, we got to get all of it out. I don't know. I was like, we got to get all these troops out. We can't leave any soldier behind. I don't know what it was, but I just got in my head about the thing, so I had to throw it out when we moved to the new place. It's also there's something a little annoying about when people come over to use your bathroom and then they see it tucked under the toilet, and you're like, oh, this is just weird for people to look at. You know what I mean? Like I had one in the other bathroom too, and I was like, I got to get rid of that
you're
shit.
crazy. I love
Now
it.
I have a mechanism that it's tied to the ceiling, and I put my feet in it, and it lifts me up above the toilet, and I just hover and I shit. Yeah, it's
I want to
like
get
an
a Japanese
acrobatic.
toilet. Is what I want.
Well, those things are the illest. Ron White, you talked to him about those things.
Yeah.
It warms your ass.
Yeah.
It
shoots it in there.
it's a bidet, and also this is my favorite one. In Japan, if you've been, you know they play music or sounds or
it's
shit.
some
like,
weird. It's
yeah.
a weird. Ding, 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 ding.
It's like it's supposed to like make you get into piss mode
Right.
and not feel embarrassed. By the way, I had a meeting yesterday, and there is 4 urinals. 4. Bum 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 bum. I'm at the first one, like a
Right.
gentleman, right?
Right.
So this guy could take the third down or the last one.
Yeah, the fourth one. Go for
This
the
guy fucking walks all the way into a stall, and I'm thinking, honestly, guys, think about that shit. Where you piss? I'm pissing, and I see him do it, and I'm thinking, hey, he's gonna go to push a grumper out. He leaves the door open, and he pees.
Yeah.
He just pees.
I do that.
You don't pee at the fucking urinal when
No,
nobody else pees?
not if there's a stall open.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Are you just not comfortable around other
No,
dudes?
it's just like, you know what? As a courtesy, instead of doing the third or fourth urinal, I'm going to do one more and just
get away from me
Go
completely.
in a completely different room.
But what if I want to, see your cock? You know, what if I want to fucking see what you got going on? That's Seinfeld.
No, I've
What
always,
if I want to see his cock?
I've always been like that. I've also was always the guy that like in high school that would not change in the locker room.
Did you not poop at school either?
I don't think I did,
A lot
man.
of-
I
a lot
don't
of kids
think
wouldn't poop
I
at
don't think
school.
I've ever. I don't remember.
I always had
to
to find my place to poop in the school because I
Yeah.
couldn't poop in a regular bathroom. That's insane. Everybody
Right.
knows these are everybody's shoes.
Right.
But I would go. There was a bathroom up near the gym, like up in the workout room above the gym, and I'd poop in there. Nobody was there.
Right.
Nobody was there,
Oh,
so I could
that's
go sneak
cool.
and poop in there in the auxiliary gym. So
Yeah.
for all the fucking kids out there looking go to the aux gym pooper, dude. That's by far the best.
I was listening to I think it was Tony podcast, but you were talking about not pooping for like a couple days or something like that.
Yeah.
Like how crazy. I've talked to people like that, like on average poop every 4 days, every 3 days, and I think that's ridiculous because
Men?
I poop like 4 times a day.
But
Like,
men?
yeah, men.
See, sometimes they say women can go longer than men can, but I've never met a dude that poops once every 5 days.
I have to poop at least twice a day, or I'm more like 4 times a day.
I'll give you an embarrassing story.
Right.
You ready? You know how kids sometimes hold in their poop?
Yeah.
You know, it's like I think kids do it. Kids are holding a poop because it kind of feels good, but it hurts at the same time. I did that a few times when I was a kid. I used to do that when I was a kid. I'd be at my grandma's house and I held in a couple poops. I don't know why. It's weird. There's got to be a trigger inside the brain that's like it feels good a little bit to hold it in for some reason. But man, is it terrible when it has to come out.
I tell you, holding your poop in is actually cool because if you have a night of drinking.
Wait, hold on.
It makes
Holding
it-
your poop in is kind of cool.
Yeah, because it makes it solid. Like I've noticed, if I don't go anytime I feel like I want to go,
Yeah.
Like if I go, you know what, I'm going to hold off a little. Like I noticed it makes it more solid.
Gets it more tough, huh?
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous fucking conversation. Every time I get a fan that's like, dude, I love your stuff. It's so funny. I listen to it sometimes at work. And also, it's real tough when you get talking about some foul ass shit because I have to like turn it down when I'm talking about shit talk. Anyway, yeah, don't hold it in, guys. Please let it out. You should not be holding in your poop. I know this is a lesson that we really shouldn't be pushing out to the world. But
Have you ever pooped and had a hair like attached to it, and then it comes out? It's like a slide whistle. It's like, whoa, that felt good.
oh yeah. Come on.
I've been eating hair now.
just to get it out.
Get it.
Yeah, I just go to barber shops and just take all their fucking
I
hair.
just scraped the shower drain.
This we could get to one of the grossest
let's talk about
podcasts ever.
gingers. You know, I used to date Ginger, and she told me a lot of facts I didn't know about gingers.
Give them to me. What are they?
Like if you get anesthesia or whatever it's called.
Anesthesia, right?
Yeah, you have to have less or more. I think it's more.
We have to have more. Our pain tolerance is up. Pull this down a little bit. So you can see. Pull this mic down a little bit.
Which is crazy. Like
Yeah.
I had no idea about that. Like,
That we have to have more?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think it's like we have a higher pain tolerance naturally. It's something like that. We have a higher drug tolerance, a higher pain tolerance.
But yet, girls who are gingers have way more sensitivity during sex. Like they can feel anything.
Well, that's why they say their sex drives are through the roof.
Yeah.
I guess males are too, but that's just a natural thing for men to have fucking super high
Right.
sex drive. But they say redheaded women's sex drive is way higher. Yeah, I also can't have epinephrine. I can't have
What's
epinephrine.
that?
I don't know if it's for gingers, but epinephrine's like what they put in like Novocaine. You know,
Yeah,
I can't have it for my heart and shit. Like it fucks with my heart.
I think that's it
It's
might
super
be
weird.
all
It-
gingers.
It gets me all fucked up. I don't know why. This is a message for all the gingers. If you can't have epinephrine, holler at me. But every time I get Novocaine at the dentist or whatever, I always have it without epinephrine.
Yeah, I think she was. The same
Epinephrine
way.
is essentially, like EpiPens.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like if you're trying to, it's an EpiPen is all epinephrine in there. It's like it's basically, it's like a rush for your heart. You know what I mean?
So
it's
what
like
happens
speed.
if you OD in like the meth or that's
I'm dead. I
Yeah.
die. If I did meth once, I'd probably die.
wow, they can't bring you back.
No, they can't bring me back. I mean, they probably could try. What if it killed me again?
Wow.
Like I'm alive for 3 seconds and then it hits and then I'm dead again. Like it worked. It didn't. He's dead. He's out like a light. That was your first ginger that you dated? You've dated the rainbow, huh?
Yeah. that
What
was
what race or color or creed or person have you not dated? Have you gone all over the place?
I've not
White,
dated,
black, Asian, Japanese, Mexican.
I've dated them all. Yeah, I think I've dated them all.
That's pretty great. Look at you, huh?
Yeah.
You don't discriminate. You like everything.
Yeah.
But your favorite is, you should say Asian.
I would probably say Asian, definitely.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, Jews are the best. They're the horniest and craziest and bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you Jewish? You're not Jewish.
No, I'm German. Das ist Guten. Actually, I'm German Irish. I'm actually, when I'm in Ireland,
You're Irish?
my last name's Reich, like Third Reich.
Yeah. Yeah, Reich.
But when I was in Ireland, it was called Rochelle. I'm Rochelle.
Look at that, dude. Jews are the best. Do you think that's?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I've been with a few, and they've always been just crazy in bed, like
Fun.
ridiculous,
Super fun.
super fun, super horny, just ridiculous.
I dated a Jewish girl when I was in college. Ah, this is so mean, but whatever.
She's probably dead anyway.
I hooked up with a Jewish girl in college, and she did the dead fish thing.
Oh, really?
It was the weird. I've never had it ever again. It was the strangest thing I've ever experienced in my
Wow.
whole life. It was crazy. She just dead fished it.
and
And it creeped me the fuck out. And I was like, and after we hooked up for the first time, I was like, well, fuck that, And then she talked, she was like, why don't you ever want to hook up again? And I was like, I mean, I thought you didn't want to hook up again because you definitely didn't like it. She's like, I loved it. I was like, oh fuck.
I had that happen once. You know what? I thought it was
just,
I thought,
she was just chilling.
I thought it was like I think that's like you have to be molested or something like that.
Something weird.
Yeah, because the girl that I was with, dead fish too, like almost to the point where like, are you okay? Like,
Yeah,
like you're like
I got concerned.
stiff as a board.
I
you
got
know?
concerned.
And
Now, granted, I did knock her out. I punched her as hard as I could
Oh,
before
yeah,
we
I
hooked up.
choked her.
I thought that was a part
Yeah.
of it. No, but it was just so weird. That was the weirdest thing I'd ever experienced. I was like, is my dick that fucking small? I was like, fuck, man, I got a tiny dick and she hated it. And then she was like, no, I had a great time. I was like, oh, I just have zero awareness of what you're going through because she didn't talk about any of it. She just was like, I loved it when it was all over. I was like, oh, okay, well,
Are you sure about that?
we can't do this anymore. Yeah.
Right.
She's like, I loved it, Uncle Mike. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh yeah, I hate that. Like I had a girl that used to always say "daddy" all the
Nope.
time.
Fuck that.
And sometimes I could see it's cute once in a while, but this girl, every word that she would say was "daddy, daddy, daddy," and to the point like she even said her dad's name at one point. And I'm like,
She's
it's like, "Hey Jeff, oh fucking
Daddy Jeff, Daddy Jeff, I love you. My mom's second husband, I love you. That's so weird.
So weird.
That's a weird trigger, right? That's a strange, I don't know where that comes from. I mean, I
Yeah.
get it when it's like fucking Puerto Ricans or Cubans and shit. They love that shit. Dead poppy and all that bullshit.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's just,
hot.
That's just fun.
Right? That's hot.
I don't know why with white chicks it's weird. Why is it with like Cuban girls you're like hot, dude?
Yeah.
But with fucking white girls you're like, what the fuck is wrong?
yeah.
Did you fuck your dad?
Yeah. I mean, what if,
You know, with
what
Cuban-
if guys start going, oh, mommy. Oh, mama.
I'm sure that happens. By the
Oh,
way,
I'm sure.
I saw one of those things on Netflix about the guys that like to get domed, dominatrix shit.
Right.
That tripped me the fuck out. These dudes, they like to get like kicked in the fucking dick and spit on and told to like go like lick the dishes clean. Dude, it was the weirdest fucked up shit. And the girls, more power to them. Fuck it. They were getting paper. They were like, he pays me money to beat the shit out of him. What the fuck? It's like, yeah, dude, fuck it. Fuck that dude. He likes it. I mean, whatever.
I used to date a couple of those girls.
Oh,
I dated
really?
a girl that would step on high heels on guys' balls
Come
and send me
on,
go, look at
dude.
this guy's balls. And she's just grinding
How does that
her.
not bust your nut?
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
It doesn't rip their sack?
Like it should. It probably does, but she would get paid great money, and these are like rich Beverly Hills CEOs of companies, and she would just come over their house with high heels and step on their dicks and punch them and kick them.
You know what? You know why that is. Sometimes I think I have this theory about when you get so rich and you run out of all the normal fun things. That's when you get into shit that's like, you may not be gay. Like,
Right.
look, dude, Will Smith may not be gay,
Whatever.
but he also ran out of pussy, and he's probably like, I guess I could have a guy suck my dick. I don't know. That's why I think like Robert Kraft got caught at that sex shop. Not because he was like begging for a tuggy, because you just ran out of shit and you're like, I guess I go to this weird seedy massage parlor and get my butthole licked. And you know what I mean? Like
You've never done that, have you?
never. I've never gotten a tuggy at one. Have you? You love it, huh?
I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah, but I can't. I don't want to. Why do I want to get tugged? Do they blow you?
You'd full sex.
Yeah. Okay. But
There's
guys that just
different
go
places.
get jerked off is weird to
Most
me.
places, it's hand jobs and butt stuff, like fingers in the butt.
Licking ass? Toss
No,
us out?
while they're giving you a hand job, they're like
Right,
fingering you in the
right,
ass and
right.
massaging your asshole. And then there's blowjob places, which are a little bit more rare, just doing that. But then there's the full sex places, which there's I mean, in walking distance from here, there's probably like 10 massage parlors within 5-minute walk that you can go to and have full sex at a
And
massage
they're all
parlor.
they're all
Yeah.
brothels.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew about blowies.
But
and
hand
tug
jobs are almost every massage parlor.
That's how most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's fucking. But why do you want to get tugged?
Well, it just, some
wanna
people
get
have, what I think it is, I think some people have an Asian fetish. So when they're getting a massage and they're like, this is a hot, Filipino girl. She's
Who
like
looks 10.
She looks,
She's 46.
I think, and there's something about, when you're getting a massage and they're just rubbing you all
Sure.
around that you start going.
What do they massage for like 5 minutes and then they're like, come on, tug.
No, the good places actually do a full massage, and then when they flip you over, which is
That's
usually
what-
like they're in the front, they usually don't do anything, but when they flip you over, usually they go, and you're like,
Yeah. My dick is hard.
right.
Do you ever get regular massages now, or you only do?
No,
those?
I used to be addicted to them. To the point where I was going to the gas stations, getting the boner pills, that you see the rhinoceros hologram on it.
Yeah.
And I'll take it before I go, just because I wanted to be like, oh, look at this monster, like.
Monster. Godzilla. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be like a real addiction because I didn't know that was a thing.
What are we talking? Every single day?
Yeah.
How many times a day?
Twice a day sometimes.
Wow.
There's this website will kill you.
Well, tell the listeners.
Rubmaps.com.
Rubmaps.com.
Yeah, it's like Yelp for massage parlors.
And if your Rub Maps is thinking about sponsoring Whiskey Ginger,
yeah,
drop us a
perfect.
fucking
I mean,
email.
I've talked about this a million times, but
Weed
it's
Maps, Rub Maps.
Rub Maps, and
Rub
it
Maps.
literally like you type in a massage parlor that's near your house, it'll tell you like, oh yeah, I went there, got a hand job for $40, but wait there, got full sex for
Wow.
120. Like it's
Sex is 120 and hand jobs are $40.
and blowjobs are 80.
Jesus. That's what I'm saying. Why would a guy pay $40 for someone to tug him up? Just go jerk off at the house.
Oh no,
I get it when guys want to go fuck hookers when they're like, I want to fuck a hooker.
That's what I do now.
I get it.
Right.
Right. But I'm also like, but to jerking off is such an annoying, weird thing for someone else to do to you. I just don't get it.
It really is. How
rather-
I looked at the jerking off thing was that like, you had an hour massage, hot, Asian chick, and then at the end it's just like a little dessert.
It'd be cool if it was an Asian chick who gave you a massage and then just a big dude came in to fucking jerk you off.
No.
That's the one I want to go
Like
to.
there was one place.
A big Samoan guy comes in, just rips your dick right off your body.
There was one place on Van Nuys where it was connected to.
Of course it was on Van Nuys.
And it was connected to a weed shop, that same owner. And on the left side was just Cubans, girls, like fresh off the boat, 20, 21 years old, like big ass butts and just hot as fuck.
Wow.
None of them had massage licenses or anything.
on,
So when you go
licenses.
in there, you're like, oh yeah, I'm definitely getting the extra $40, you know, for this. I mean,
I like how you're like, they don't have driver's licenses, let alone fucking
Yeah.
massage licenses.
Yeah.
They just came here. What's your name? Whatever you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tugging dicks here in this weed shop offshoot off Van Nuys. It's connected to what is it? What's it with the Galpin or what's the old
keys. Rub me in the thighs.
Keys massive car dealership. If no one knows in Van Nuys, they got like 50 different car dealerships.
You know
I'm
what-
sure they own that. They own that whole
Keys
fucking street.
You know, Van Nuys used to be the hot spot in Los Angeles. Like that's where you would go every Friday and Saturday night, and you would cruise down the street in your
Right.
cars.
I
and that's-
did hear that,
and that's
yeah.
why all the dealerships are there.
Well, you can see when you go up way up north on Van Nuys, those old big buildings with huge facades, right? Because they look like you've seen this in films too. It's like these old picture perfect like storefronts hanging out with big high facades that
Right.
really look picturesque. It's really kind of a cool look. They're all bullshit now. It's like always like a Halloween shop and a couple of broken down
Halloween Town.
Halloween towns. Yeah, it's always like this. You know how like Chris Rock, or Chappelle was talking about years ago, and especially when he said gun store, liquor store, gun store, liquor store. Damn, where are you taking me? It's like Van Nuys is like Halloween Town, Napa Auto Parts.
Yeah.
A CVS.
Yep.
It's always like the same row of shit things. When you know you're in an area that's just on its way out, it's like those are the only things that stay are a dance studio, a gun world. You know what I mean? Why is that? It's always like a kid's dance studio next to a gun world that also has Halloween Town across the street and a CVS that's barely a CVS.
Yeah, it's not even a CVS, it's a Walgreens. you
Yeah,
know?
but it says wall on it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else left.
And a John's.
And a John, yeah, combo Johns. So this is all fucking LA reference bullshit. People are gonna be like,
Right.
"What we can't fucking follow,
That's
man.
not Kroger.
We can't fucking follow your grocery store bullshit." So anyway, look, I'm the most interested I was most interested in talking in deep about the Death Squad stuff because it is wild. Like a lot of people now are starting podcast networks, and I think it's cool that now everyone is rising up together and kind of building on top of each other, and
Right.
all these things are kind of like handshaking one another a little
Yes.
bit. It's wild. It's like this new boom of this is like the 80s for stand up again, except it's in the world of fucking podcasts,
Right.
Which is mind bending to me because this is crazy. I just got my hair cut, and the guy who cuts my hair, my barber, his kid is like 14, and I was like, what do you listen? He had headphones, and I was like, what are you listening to? And for sure, I was like, some shit that I don't know, you know. And he was like, oh, I'm listening to K-Earth 101. I was like, wait, what? He was like, K-Earth 101, the radio station. It's an oldies radio station here in LA. And I was like, for real? It's like a 14-year-old kid. But then I was like, that's how it happens, right? You go so far and then they go back again.
Yeah.
Because we did the same shit, you know?
Right.
It's like our generation was like, loved records.
Right.
And our parents were like, what? We got rid of those things fucking 30 years. Why do you ever, like, I have a stack full of records that I got. We moved into a new place. I sifted through all these records I got from my dad. And I remember being like, can I have all these records? And my dad was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about those fucking records. Like, hey, take all of them. And I took all these records. I was fascinated with it. It sounds cool because it's old. It's like, that's funny that his generation is like, the radio's insane. Because it is.
Have you tried AM yet, bro?
Holy shit, dude. It did. It was almost like this weird throwback. Oh, it was also, he told me that the radio station, the oldies radio station that I used to love when I first moved to LA, I like oldies. I like Motown, I like all that shit. And it was 50s, 60s, and 70s back then. 70s was like barely making it.
Right.
Now it's 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Oh, it's crazy.
90s is oldie shit.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's like they're like, look at this throwback band, Nirvana.
Yeah. How
From the
insane
oldies.
is that?
I mean,
That's crazy.
I get it, right? I get that we come to this age when we're like, when I was your age. But it's just weird to feel it sometimes. When you feel it is when it's fucking
Absolutely.
It throws you for a loop. It's kind of like I was installing a digital keypad door lock, you know, at the house, and like the fucking one of the neighbors is like staring at me, or someone is walking by is like staring at me doing it, sees me programming it, and she's much older, and she was like, "What the fuck is this tech dick coming into my fucking?" You know what I mean? Like
Right.
to us, it's like, yeah, what do you mean? This is a simple bullshit digital keypad. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
They should all be that, by the way. I don't fucking, why do we have keys anymore? Holy fuck. Everything should be digital, digitized, all that shit. I'm so ready to be autonomous. Fuck that shit. Put me in the Matrix, dude. Loop me up. Put a chip in my forehead. I don't know why people have people take such great care of the idea of like protecting themselves from that stuff. It's like, I want to be off the grid. I want to be disconnected. I was like, dude, connect me, plug me in, and fuck me off the space.
I take it. I just got a Tesla, and like
That's right. You did. You got the X.
The X,
Yeah, the SUV.
And I had to go to San Diego. I had a show, Kill Tony, at the Comedy Store, and it was my first time ever going on a road trip with it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have the car drive me the whole way there.
Fuck.
It was fucking crazy, dude. It
was awesome, right?
It was amazing. But that is to the next level, to the point where there's like, I don't know how many, 14 cameras on the thing, and it's sending like video to Tesla and sitting it
to a
back.
fucking satellite.
Yeah, to like they could probably flip a switch and just control my car and drive it off a bridge, and I couldn't do shit. But I'm just like, more, please.
Yeah, but I'll take it.
It's so amazing. But the bad thing about it, on the way home, I was just so bored because I had no interaction with it. I was just watching.
What if you just watch a movie on your iPad or something?
You could, but you also feel like that you should keep
Pay
an
attention.
eye on it, you
Yeah.
know? But I was getting so tired. I mean, like within 10 minutes, I'm just like, I'm about to fall asleep, man.
But
so I had to disengage from it and actually drive.
But they
just to
tell you
keep my mind.
can't fall asleep because if your eyes go away, right?
No, you have to keep your hand, like every minute, you have to at least give the steering wheel a little tug. So a lot of people just keep their hand on it and kind of like, so when it turns, it resists a little, you know? There's also tricks where you can take like a bag of quarters or a sock of quarters and tie it to the steering wheel.
This is definitely on a Reddit fucking
a
subreddit that was just like, here's the tricks for how to make it drive itself.
Yeah.
So you love it though.
It's
how many miles do you get out of one full
it's
charge?
The best. I think it's like 300.
Yeah. So I tried a 3 and an S.
Yeah.
And the 3, the biggest battery gets the same as the S. I think the biggest battery is the same for all of them. I think the largest battery they make, distance charge wise, is the same. It's only 3. I think it was 310 miles.
Yeah, I think the 3 has the biggest one right now, which is 305 or 310 or something like that.
310, yeah.
But the X is heavier, so that's why it gets like a little less than it.
Well, right, because
Right.
same thing with the S. It uses more energy too, right?
Right.
The 3 is probably the most efficient. They say
3 is the most efficient and the cheapest, and
well, it is, but it isn't, right? Like I built
starts
one.
off at 35. And
Yeah,
then,
but you get up to about 56, 57.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They like to say that shit.
Right. Well, it's like when you get an iPhone, you're not going to get a 16 gigabyte iPhone. You're going to go.
Do they even make that anymore? Now
Yeah, I think they do.
I thought the minimum was 32. Now
well, maybe it is now 32, but they used to be like, who even buys?
You used to be able to buy an 8. They're like,
Yeah.
what do you want? What do you want? A throwaway phone?
Right.
So I downloaded 2 apps and it shut off. It's like, yeah, that was it. That's all you got out of that fucking. But you know what? That whole numbers game is a scam for them. It's basically them violently throwing you into a higher bracket of finance when they know damn well you have to have that thing. It's
Right.
mean that they tease people on a lower financial spectrum to be able to do that. Same thing. I just got AT&T fucking came and switched my internet. Dude, these guys, they're like, you can get it at 300, 600, or 1,000, you know? And I'm like, well, what's the difference in the price and all that shit? Here's the deal, right? If you get more, they give you more, and they also give you unlimited. So it's like, well, I want unlimited.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking tether my internet
Right.
for $5 more or 10 more bucks.
Right.
So they know. It's like, I wish it was more like In-N-Out, where it's just like, it's a burger and fries. You're like, what else? They're like, that's it.
Yeah.
This is what we fucking sell.
AT&T is kind of like that. Like T-Mobile is the way to go nowadays.
You like T-Mobile?
Oh, it's the best.
Here's the only reason I like T-Mobile.
Right.
I don't know if not to cut you off. The only reason that I've told this before, and I'll say this again, if you are on a fucking Delta flight, Delta,
Oh, yeah.
Delta.
And there's more than one.
Right, there's a few.
Yeah.
But if you get on the flight and it says for free Wi-Fi, well, Delta gives you free Wi-Fi texting anyway, but American will say, if you're a T-Mobile customer on our Wi-Fi, you can text for free. Here's the trick. You don't have to be a customer. You just have to find a friend who has a T-Mobile number and use their number. That's it.
Yeah, I yelled at Ari Manis for that. Thanks a lot, Ari.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I'm
it.
just waiting one day to be like, you've already used it today. I told him I'm going to choke him out if that happens.
Because I use Eric Griffin's.
Oh, you did?
I do. Because I know that motherfucker has T-Mobile.
Yeah.
How do I know? He's black. Anyway.
No, what's crazy about T-Mobile is it used to suck back in the day.
It was dog shit.
Yeah, but when they're during the sidekick years, because what happened?
I had a sidekick.
Yeah, so the technology that Verizon and AT&T and everything had. T-Mobile had like shitty version of that because they were working on the next thing, so they built up the next thing to this huge thing. This huge 4G is what they were building.
Yep.
While 3G they sucked at 3G. So when 4G came out, they were like, oh yeah, we've been working on this for a long ass time. So now T-Mobile's on top, way better than AT&T and Sprint and Verizon and stuff.
It's funny.
Like that.
Everyone's trying to beat each other to the punch. It's kind of like how Samsung and Sony and all these places are trying to pump out 5K TVs, and you're like, 5K? Nobody fucking pumps 5K anyway.
You can't even
like
see 5K.
No, well, here's what it is, right? The highest chance of getting 5K technology to your 5K television is on a fucking Blu-ray or some form of disc that you're watching.
Blu-ray, yeah.
But streaming is almost impossible because they just can't handle that bandwidth.
Well, also your eyes, like this is, a lot of people can say different things about this. Your eyes can't even see 4K. Like I think it's
they see the highest definition of what it is,
Yeah.
but they can't really see true 4K.
You can do 10G or 10K, and you won't. I bet you had 10K and a 5K right next to each other. You won't be able to tell a difference.
Well,
between
our
the
eyes
two.
wouldn't know the difference,
Yeah,
right?
we can't see
Until
it.
we make it just fucking our
Robot
lives
eyes,
and we're
yeah.
robot eyes.
Oh yeah, that's coming.
How exciting! Pop my fucking eyeballs out of my head and put it in my robot
Fuck
eyes.
yeah, would you do that?
Yeah, Black Mirror
Oh,
the
yeah.
fuck out of myself.
Yeah.
You're gonna die. You don't want to be the guy who died not trying that bullshit. And someone's like, "What if it kills you?" It's like, well, whatever.
I
don't
do
fucking-
think that I don't know how old you are. How old are you?
35.
I'm 44. I do think I wish I was 20 years younger because I feel like we are just getting into the good stuff to the
Yeah.
point where we're like, oh, you didn't download your brain yet and put it on,
My brain's in the cloud.
Yeah.
My brain is up in the cloud right
I think
now.
we're going to miss that by just 10 years.
Totally,
or
but our
so.
kids are gonna have it. And that's gonna be funny when they're like, "Dad, you're such a fucking dork. You don't know how to download your brain." You're like, "I lost it. I don't know how to fucking show me how to download my brain, please."
It's too late because then you're just downloading this Alzheimer's brain. And you're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make myself stupid again.
Some kid telling his sister, he's like, "You a fucking dad plugged in his brain. He doesn't even do it wireless." So you're like, "I don't fucking know how to do it without the wire. They gave me the fucking wire." You losing your mind. This is a new thing that I found out tech wise. Any of these new internet servers now, if you are the prime host, you can boot people off or limit their usage on your home internet with an app, which is the coolest shit in the
I
world.
love that.
Someone's like, they can search, but you are basically withholding how much they can search and how much data they can search, which just tethers their fucking phone.
Yeah.
So when people are at your house, you can see every user that's on, and you're like, "Fuck you, fuck you,
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
you."
My favorite thing, you should try this next time you're on an airplane, is I have a picture of a dolphin's vagina because it's very beautiful.
You airdrop it?
Yeah, and I airdrop it to everyone on the plane.
Yeah.
And when I first did it,
What's your name of your phone though?
Dr. Fudge Packer.
Okay. Yeah, because you have to have a fucking fun name.
Yeah, it's not Brian, but it's Dr. Fudge Packer. And it literally 30 people at one time I had it. And I'm just like, send. And out of that 30, 10 people accepted it. And you just hear people go, what? Hey.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Mommy, what's this?
Dalia talked about doing that. I think he used to do that. He used to send an Asian family to people. One time I was trying to fuck around with that when I was bored somewhere and so I changed the name of my phone to Guy Right Next to You.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so then they would get it and they're like, "What the fuck, man?" Some guy's like, "What the fuck? I don't
Yeah.
fucking know. I didn't do shit."
Yeah, I've been doing that for a while. Because I used to do, and I still do once in a while. If you look at your Wi-Fi network, sometimes there's printers, and you could just print whatever you fuck. So I would print out like, honey, this is Jeff. I miss you so much. And just sending it to people. Like who's this letter?
I'm held at gunpoint. You need to send $10,000 to this address.
Yeah.
Somebody showed me there was a new scam online. You know these old fucking terrible email scams? It's like, send me this and I'll give you this. Somebody posted online, maybe Billy Bonnell posted today something about, someone said, "Hey, will you accept this Venmo from me?" And then Venmo it back to see if my account's working. It's Mike, so-and-so's friend. So what they're doing, this is basically just like millennials scamming over Venmo.
Right.
By saying, because obviously it's an inactive account. So by the time that goes through, the other person's already sent the money back.
Right.
Which is a genius move. They'll probably fuck a lot of people over out of money.
Well, I think you probably have been experiencing this also, how many scam calls you've been getting on your phone lately.
If I genuinely on my phone, if I show you today, I had 10.
Yeah, I probably had 4 or
insane.
5. And so my girlfriend, she will talk to them and fuck with them and stuff. She'll
It's fun sometimes.
Yeah. But it's today there was one talking there from the police. Looking for donations and can we
the cops are always calling you looking for fucking donations.
Yeah, I know. But what's crazy is that they were like, how about this, if you could just $1, we just need your checking account number and just, $1, just
Wow.
router
That's
checking,
pretty fucking bold.
and just and so it's just they're getting your the routing number and your checking account number. They're saying they're only doing $1, but they're going to be like, oh, here's $100,
More. I mean, once they have those two numbers,
Yeah.
you're fucked forever. I had to do a business transaction with this woman, and she was so fucking out of touch that she was like, "Can you just send me your routing?" And this is a business that I'm getting a check
Right.
from. You just send me this information over email. I was like, "I'm gonna encrypt it."
Right.
I'm not gonna fucking type it in the fucking
Right.
like. What, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
Like they have my name, and it was just so like out of sight, out of mind to her, and it made me think this woman probably does that shit all the time.
Yeah.
And that means her numbers are fucking floating in space. She's like, yeah, just put it in the body of the email. I was like, no, they're gonna give you the fucking routing and checking number account in the body of the email. You have my name there. Someone can easily find anything else they want.
It's pretty fun. It's getting scary. Like there's I have a credit card that I have never used once, and I got it and I put it in my sock drawer and I closed it. I locked it. Like Capital One lets you lock your card. So,
Sure, yeah.
So I'm not going to use this card unless emergencies. Today I got this thing like, hey, you know, this was declined because your card's locked. I'm like, I've never ever used this once.
Right.
And it was just a place in like Van Nuys, like some like
Of course.
bakery or something. And I'm like, how is that even possible?
Right. I like to think, you know how sometimes they say there's criminal activity on your card? And you know, sometimes it's like they always test it at gas stations or small mom and pop shops.
75.
But it'd be really funny if a criminal really did take it and they really did just go to a bakery that they're like, I just want a
just want a
cupcake,
couple
man.
croissants.
That's all I want. I just want a fucking croissant, dude. Okay?
Yeah.
Which is funny because like I'm a giving person, you know, and I see if I can, a guy that looks like he needs a couple of bucks, I'll give him a couple of bucks.
You do that?
It depends.
Who?
It really
like, there's a
depends.
guy on the street, you'll give him money? I don't do that anymore.
It depends.
I used to.
It really depends. It depends on what they look like.
It's like a white guy,
Well,
you know,
dude,
it looks
they're
like
full-
he's
if they
down
have
on
like
his
nice clothes on, I'm always like, come on, you got nice clothes on. I don't know what it is. I'm like, raggedy it up for me. Even if you go change around the corner, just go do that and make me feel worse about my situation. You
Yeah.
know? But it's hard to pull up in like a nice car. You pull up in a fucking Tesla when a guy's on the side of the highway with a sign that's like 4 kids, veteran.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Don't you feel a little bit bad now? That
No,
you're,
I'm
you
like,
and you're a
sorry,
nice
I
guy?
don't keep coins. I'm too rich. I just use cards.
You take card? He's like, dude, I got the Square app, dog.
Yeah, he probably. See, I stopped doing it. 'Cause I used to do it all the time. I used to do it a lot. And when I lived in Ohio.
So you used to have a heart when you were in the Midwest.
Yeah, when I lived in Ohio. But then one day I noticed one guy that I always saw on the street get into a car that he parked in front of my house.
Smart.
And this was like a nice fucking car. And then I noticed that car every day and he would just come in, park, and that was his job. He just sat in front of this fucking store and he probably made like $300 a day, got back in his nicer car than me. And I'm like, I've been giving this guy money.
But you got to appreciate the hustle.
Yeah,
He's
I
doing
guess,
it. There was a
but-
guy in Chicago off of, I want to say 94. And he used to sell peanuts, bagged peanuts. Chicago people know what the fuck I'm talking about. He used to sell bags of peanuts on the side of the road, and everybody would buy one because it was like $1 for a bag of peanuts on the way home from work. And the off ramp was always fucking backed up. So people sitting and waiting. It's like, fine, I'll get a bag of peanuts and chew it while I'm fucking sitting in traffic getting off the freeway. And or not, they call them highways there because they're not fucking free.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a rumor. This is like a very street jokey rumor, but like that he retired because he made $2 million selling peanuts, and how he would get them is he went to these big peanut plants and all the rejected peanuts, he'd bag them up, take them down to the fucking freeway.
How
Because they're
smart.
not bad. Here's the thing: food companies throw away tons of fucking food.
Right.
Peanuts they didn't go bad.
Right.
They had imperfections, so they can't bag them because they can't sell them for aesthetics purposes. Because people are like, I don't want to eat a fucking lopsided peanut. So,
Yep.
so they would throw it away.
Dollar store. Here's a great example. Dollar store has produce and food. I don't know if you know that.
I
They
don't.
do.
I've never been.
Yeah, I've never would have thought that. So
Right.
there's one of my favorite shows, Good Mythical Morning. It's the show on YouTube. They took Whole Foods food and dollar store food, and they cooked the same meal on both of them. And they blindfold ate and picked which one. Almost all of them, they picked the dollar store one. Wow. And they
Why
were
do you
like,
think that is?
They were like $32 per meal on this one, $4 on this one.
What the fuck do you think that's from? My guess would be there's probably more sugar and salt in their
There's
produce.
probably like,
There's got to be something in their produce to keep it fresh longer.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously there because it's been rejected down the line. But
Right.
they have to do something to keep it
right,
a little bit more stable and fresh because it's obviously about to go.
right, mafia meat.
Mafia meat, baby. Government cheese.
What's the name of that fucking show?
Good Mythical Morning.
Plug that shit. I wanna watch it.
I
Good
love
Mythical
it.
Morning.
My favorite. If you go on YouTube and just type in Good Mythical Morning, look their top 10 favorites. They're like one of those guys that they'll blindfold and like do things or eat things.
Yeah, I like that shit. I like all that shit. I like
it's
my
crap.
YouTube page consists of like the best of sports clips of some of my favorite athletes. People blowing shit up in slow motion.
Ooh, slow motion does.
Blind like eating, smoking, drinking, taste testy type of shit.
That's
like
what they are. They're the
connoisseurs.
kings of
I
those.
love that
Yeah.
shit. And then I also love kids falling on their face.
Oh,
That's kids getting hurt is probably the
getting
coolest.
hurt's great.
That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah.
That's my favorite
Yeah,
shit on earth.
I love that.
I can always watch a kid get hurt.
Me too.
No matter how I'm feeling
The
that
younger
day.
the better. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
dude. I watched one today where a kid, my favorite is when a dad is holding the camera and he's 15, 20 feet away. And you know this kid is going to go off this bike ramp that is a 3.5, 4 foot bike ramp, and he's going to fucking get hurt. Hey, dad, obviously.
Right.
And you watch the dad hold it, the kid eats shit, face first, and the dad goes, "You okay?" But he's still holding the fucking, yeah, no, dude, he hit his fucking mouth. I love watching that shit because it's always sent in by dads that are just, who gives a shit? You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
You never have one that's like, "Oh my God." It's always like, "You good, bud?"
Yeah.
It's always dads being super chill about a kid almost dying.
I love
if
it.
you ever get a chance to go fucking lose about an hour and a half, go in a rabbit hole of kids getting hurt. That's maybe my favorite. That's one of my favorite
one of
fucking
my favorites
pages.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your go-to on YouTube shit? What's
YouTube
your,
is Good Mythical Morning.
What's your guilty pleasure?
guilty pleasure
Either
on
TV
YouTube?
or YouTube. I mean, we know your other guilty pleasure is getting tugged off at fucking rubmaps.com.
There's a few, man. I have a few. Like, there's a tow truck YouTube channel and
What?
from Dallas, Texas, and it's just this web design company, and their back parking lot is downtown next to a club, and they constantly have people parking in their spots. And like clients can't park there because they take all the parking spots. So they put all these cameras up, and they shit's just getting towed all the time. And it's just people getting towed.
Just tow video?
And yeah, it's tow videos.
Does that get you off?
No, but how they edit it, and they make like storylines of people like there'll be people getting out of their car and they're like, "I'm just going to take a picture right here," you know.
Oh, they
And edit it. They edit it and make it
that's
fun.
cool. That's cool.
I also like kids eating shit videos. Like they have these kids that are like 3 years old, and they're just like, "All right, we're going to try a different breakfast from every country in the world." And these like little kids are like, "What's this?" And they're like eating them like, "Well, that's pig blood, eggs," and like, like it's just, I don't know. Like
You
little kids,
you like watching kids get
I love
really
little
hurt.
kid videos.
I like physically watching them get hurt for some reason. I don't know if I want to watch them eat
I
weird
like
shit.
mental shit with kids too. Like fucking with kids is hilarious.
It's a good thing you don't have any kids, right?
Yeah, I
Yet.
would.
Would you have kids?
I think so. I think once I can move, I will. Like right now, I can't because I've lived in my place like 13 years.
Give your
I don't
address
know
by
what's
the way, for the
underneath.
fans so they can all come over to your
Oh
house.
yeah, but I don't know what's underneath my couch. You know, I can't have a baby like and like syringes all over his head.
Yeah,
And
that's
stuff.
true. Yeah, you've been doing heroin for a fucking long time.
You know me, heroin Brian.
Actually, Heroin Ryan is your alter
Heroin
ego.
Ryan's my
Heroin
alter-
Ryan.
yeah, I forgot about
That's who
that
you
guy.
really are.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, plug some Kill Tony shit. Even though people, it's sold the fuck out, they should still try to get tickets if they can.
Yeah, go to deathsquad.tv, click on tour dates. We have like 30 cities. Also, if you live in Los Angeles, every first and third Friday, we do the Ice House Chronicles, which is at the Ice House in Pasadena. Great comedy show. We also do a podcast at the same time in my studio.
Dope.
Yeah, so check it out, deathsquad.tv.
Go to deathsquad.tv. I'll put all that shit where? In the fucking description for the 80th fucking time. For me, I'm in Las Vegas next weekend at Jimmy Kimmel's new club.
Oh, you're doing that?
I'm doing that.
It's open?
I'm like the third guy that's gone and done it. Yeah. I'm wondering how it's
I can't
going
wait
to
to
be.
go check
I think
that out.
Harlan is there first weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's supposed to be cool. In Las Vegas, go to andrewsantino.com. I'll put it in the fucking... And my other tour dates are at the end of the month. I'm going to Raleigh. And then I go to Connecticut.
Did you hear
I go
about
to Bridgeport.
Connecticut the other day?
I heard about Pete Davidson and all that shit.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, what?
I'm going to go now.
It was so weird to read about. It was so weird. And for people that don't know, Pete Davidson walked out of the middle of a club run by this guy named Vinny Brand, who owns a couple of clubs. And Vinny sometimes gets on stage and he fucks around. He warms up the audience. And then he says, like, he gives them the lay of the land. Don't use your phones. Don't do this, whatever. Some comics fucking hate it. Some comics like it. Whatever. The point is, Pete was there doing a show at the Stress Factory. And he specifically told Vinny not to talk about his exes.
Wait, no, he said, kick anybody out.
Kick anybody out that talks about
heckles.
Ariana Grande or whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
And then he gets up there and he says, don't talk about Ariana Grande or Kate Beckinsale. And then he probably made a joke about it, right?
Right.
Because he's a fucking,
Yeah.
it's a comedy club.
Right. It's comic club. Relax. And he was helping them out because you know that.
Whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
it's a comedy club.
Right.
If you take yourself that fucking serious, and I know
Yeah.
Pete well, I like Pete.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things where it's like, we don't know the real story. We weren't there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But
Well,
all I do know is you know, dude, fucking whatever. I don't know. You know what he should have done? The coolest move to me would have been gone on stage. I did this when I went and did Stress Factory. I joked about Vinny. I shit all over him about whatever he said. He took it. He know how to took it. He runs a comedy fucking club. And so I shit all over him for a while, and I shit all over somebody else. And this other thing about it was funny, dude. So what he should have done, what Pete should have done, and, you know, I'm sitting on my fucking podcast, who, you know, whatever. But I'm just saying, it would have been cooler if Pete shit all over the club and shit all over him and made it funny.
Yeah.
And was like, yeah,
Absolutely.
dude, I fuck supermodels.
Yeah.
Who do you fuck, you fucking
Yeah.
moron? You know, like, he should have just wiped the floor
He needs
with
to
him.
go with it anyways. You know, like when I broke up with
Well,
Cindy
dude.
Crawford, I never cared. I did made
She
jokes
broke
about
up with
it.
you, first
Well,
of all.
all right.
Don't placate. You're trying to be cute.
Maybe.
She dumped you, dude.
Maybe.
She went
Maybe
and
I was
fucked.
a little too rough
That's
in
when
bed.
that was right after she was fucking Sheen.
Yeah.
You got AIDS. Go to andrewsantino.com for tickets. Next weekend, Vegas, end of the month. I go to fucking Raleigh, North Carolina, Connecticut, and then I go Comedy Store, La Jolla at the end of June. You got to come see me. Come do that shit. Thank you for coming. I love you.
Thank you, buddy.
You're the best, man.
You're the best.
In here, we pour whisk, 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 whisk.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.